Good soup.
Good soup.
Today, I'm gonna be going over one of the basics here. Also, I'm filming alone today. Let me know if you guys like this style of video. Now, when it comes to stock, the thing you wanna do is use what you got. So I've got these 3 birds here because I want to have chicken breasts. I wanna have some thighs left over, and I'm just gonna pre-cook them. So I can just eat them over the span of a week. Now, you don't obviously you don't have to go out and buy yourself a whole bird to make stock. What I said is use what you got. So if you have some leftover trimmings of chicken, maybe you had a rotisserie chicken the other day from Walmart or some shit, right? Utilize that. You have leftover chicken wings, utilize that. Or if you want, just go buy a bunch of chicken wings for like $5 and use that to make your stock. We gotta use what we got here because stock shouldn't be expensive. Now, I'm not really gonna go over breaking down a bird here because I've done many videos on breaking down a bird. If you wanna see a video about that, just check out my channel. I'll probably just put a link down below on breaking down a bird. Because today's focus is mainly gonna be just on preparing the stock, because this is a good soup episode, okay? Also, do you guys think it's kind of echoey in here? It sounds kind of echoey to me. Let me know down below if you think it's kind of echoey. Should we get a carpet or something? I don't know. Anyways. Let me just break down these 3 birds real quick. Like I said, I'm just gonna utilize these for my meal prep for the week. Maybe I'll make some videos with them, who knows? But I'm just showing you what you can do with leftover carcasses. Okay, so this right here. This is what I'm gonna utilize. You wanna buy a bird, you go ahead and buy a bird for like $10. Get the thigh, get the leg, get the breast, everything, and you're left with the carcass. You can use this for stock. Now here's something to take note of. With Ziploc baggies like this, you always want to roll out the top just a tad, like this, so you're not getting bacteria on this outer lip area. Keep it clean, everyone, just keep it clean. Okay, this is what I'm left with right here. I'm gonna just go ahead and do the leg quarters. Why not? I wanna make a really rich stock. So this is all my chicken that I'm using. That's going right into the oven. Now I've got my oven set to about 500 degrees Fahrenheit. I want it to be very hot because I wanna get some color on this. I might even turn the broiler on now. The goal here is just to get a lot of color on this guy because the more color we have, the more flavor, the more beautiful our stock is. Okay, now, mirepoix. Sorry, I forgot the onions. Anyways, mirepoix, carrot, celery, onion. That is typically the standard with stock, right? We use our mirepoix. Mirepoix means carrot, celery, onion. Now, remember what I mentioned about using what you got? That's pretty much the main point of stock here in restaurants. We utilize our scraps that are left over for our stock. So like I have some scallions, some green onions, they're going kind of bad. So I'm gonna use that. I have some bottoms of scallions. I'll use that too. If I happen to have, say, bell peppers going bad, or if I have some herbs, whatever, I toss it into the stock. Even honestly, like I bought this mainly for stock, so I'm just gonna utilize the whole thing. Once again, bench scraper, the best tool ever, I'm telling you. And now with stock, with onions in particular, I keep the skins on. Now what I'm doing here is I'm gently sweating these vegetables. This is a very fancy way of doing it. Usually I would just take this, dump it in, dump the water in, and then go and be on with my day. But I'm just taking my time with this because I can make it nice. So if you have the time, go ahead and sweat these. Notice I didn't put any fat in there. I might add a little bit of salt to get it going, but it's just literally sweating in its own liquid. And like all the aromatics are coming out right now. It's just gonna add more flavor to this stock. Now, once the water's added, I make sure not to fill it to the top because the chicken's not in here yet, right? Then I'll add some black peppercorn, green peppercorn, because I like the spice that it adds. 1 bay leaf, and then some thyme. You can do thyme, rosemary, whatever you want. I love thyme. That goes in. All right, now check it out. This is our bird so far. I've got some good color on it. It could go longer, but this is fine with me. This is enough color for me. So I just go straight into the pot, and this is where all the stock begins. Just dump it all into the pot. I have 2 separate pots going, by the way, because all of this is not gonna fit in this one pot. And you might also see this liquid that's in the pan left over. That is good shit. You want that. All right, it's pretty straightforward. Now we just wait. I'm just gonna let these go overnight. Okay, those are back there. They've been going overnight. Now what I'm doing is I'm just taking a strainer. You could take a sieve like this or a strainer like this, and we're just gonna dispose of all this stuff right here. I like to take the strainer and just dip it into the pot and get as much out as possible before I pour. Because if I just pour with all this stuff in there, it could overload my strainer, or it could just splash everywhere. That's not gonna be good. We don't wanna splash stuff, right? So let's just get it all out. Here's the big one. Man, y'all, look at this giant pot. Isn't this sick? Actually, what do you think of this for a thumbnail? Not bad, huh? That'd be a good thumbnail right there. All right, so same thing. As you can see, I didn't lose that much liquid because I had it on very, very low heat. You do not want your stock to be at a rolling boil. You want it to be barely simmering. As you can see, I have a lot of chicken stock here. I'll show you what I can do with it once it's completely cool. There she is. She's just gonna stay in there overnight. That's okay. It's still the same day. It's just like almost 9 o'clock. And as you can see, the fat has started to congeal. Let me give you a closer look. Fat started to congeal, but if you leave this in there overnight, it should congeal completely and you should have a really good solid layer of fat. If you leave that on, it'll keep the stock fresher longer. It acts like it's like own little insulation. So keep that fat on there if you're gonna keep it in the fridge. If you're gonna freeze it, take that fat off and you're good to go. Okay, so I thought I was just getting a beautiful shot of me pulling that fat off and I forgot to press record. I'm very sorry, but that was a very beautiful shot that I got of pulling the fat off. This is what happens when I film alone. This is why I should have Michael here. Anyways, I pulled the fat off and I'm keeping it aside because you can do things with this fat, like make a gravy or something. Let me know down below if you want to see a video on that chicken fat gravy. Now, once you've got all of them corded up or put into whatever container you want, covered, put the date on it so you don't forget when you made it. I would say the stock should last in your fridge for, I'm gonna make a kind of guesstimate here. I've had bad stock. You'll know when it's bad. It'll smell rancid. I would say around 2 weeks is when you should probably nix it. If you wanna keep it longer than 2 weeks, toss it in your freezer. Like I said, if you're gonna keep it in the fridge, just keep that fat layer on top. It works like a really good insulator. You know, just the chicken stock on its own like this with a little salt, little pepper is so comforting. If you put love and care into it, I'm telling you, it's just, look at the color of this. This is what happens when you put care into your stock. Look at that color. Oh, it's so nice. Smash like, subscribe.